Sophie Cunningham is officially out for the rest of the season with a torn MCL.
Sophie Cunningham is out for the remainder of the season.
Sophie Cunningham, unfortunately, is out for the rest of the 2025 WNBA season.
Breaking news. Sophie Cunningham's season is officially over after a devastating knee injury.
And Bria Hartley just kind of plows through her leg by the looks of things. She kind of plows through the knee, and Sophie's holding like her patella.
For the Indiana Fever, and especially Caitlin Clark, this is a painful blow. Sophie wasn't just another player. She was Clark's enforcer, her protector on the court. And now she's gone.
For those who don't know what's going on, Sophie Cunningham is out for the remainder of the season after getting injured versus the Connecticut Sun when Bria Hartley basically dived into her leg.
The nightmare moment happened against the Connecticut Sun. Sophie Cunningham, one of the Indiana Fever's most reliable veterans and fiercest competitors, was battling as usual when Bria Hartley came crashing into her leg.
These players feel they have the right to take cheap shots. These players feel like they have the right to dive at people's legs.
It wasn't a regular collision. Hartley recklessly dove, and Sophie immediately grabbed her knee in agony. The diagnosis? A torn MCL. Her season is officially over. This is not some random freak accident. This has become a disturbing pattern whenever the Fever face Connecticut.
I didn't even realize every single game this season that the Fever have played Connecticut, there has basically been an injury.
Every matchup seems to bring another ugly scene. Earlier this season, Caitlin Clark was sent hard to the floor. In another, Sophie herself got tangled up with J.C. Sheldon in what could have been another dangerous situation. And now this, Sophie taken out by the same Connecticut team, this time in the most devastating way possible. What makes this even harder to swallow is the role Sophie played for this team.
So now the Indiana Fever have officially come out and let it be known. This right here is by Underdog WNBA. It says Sophie Cunningham diagnosed with torn right MCL per Chloe Peterson. And this is awful news. This is just awful news. Here it is from the Indiana Fever.
She wasn't just another forward who could stretch the floor. She was the heartbeat, the enforcer. Sophie was the one who stood tall when Clark was shoved, hacked, and knocked down. She was the teammate who wasn't afraid to go to war for Caitlin. And in a league where Clark has been openly targeted since the moment she arrived, that type of protection was priceless.
Sophie Cunningham has been kind of like the heartbeat of this team with Caitlin Clark being out. She's like the first player we actually seen come out and stand up for Caitlin Clark and have her back. She was dealing with an injury. She fought back, came off the bench, got into the starting lineup, and she started lighting it up for us.
Fans recognized it instantly. Sophie brought a toughness that Clark desperately needed. If someone tried to bully Caitlin, Sophie was there to let them know they couldn't get away with it. And now, that shield is gone. Losing her isn't just about minutes or points per game.
The Indiana Fever. Not unexpected that Sophie Cunningham ruled out for the season, but devastating nonetheless as the injuries just continue to pile up.
It's about Caitlin Clark being left exposed, with fewer and fewer teammates willing or able to stand up against the constant cheap shots. And the most telling moment of all, while Sophie was on the ground clutching her knee, Bria Hartley was seen smiling, showing no sign of regret. That snapshot says it all. A dirty player laughing while one of the Fever's toughest is carried off.
Of course, Sydney Colson already out for the season, Ari McDonald out for the season, and now Sophie Cunningham out for the season. That's with Caitlin Clark still out and having been out for much of the season. The season was saved.
It's a visual that sums up everything wrong with how this league has handled its stars. For the Indiana Fever, it's a brutal loss. But for Caitlin Clark, it's personal. Because Sophie wasn't just a teammate, she was her protector. And now Caitlin has to move forward without her bodyguard on the floor.
We have lost Sophie Cunningham for the remainder of this WNBA basketball season. We've signed a 5'7" guard. All right. We waived one and signed a different one. It looks like this one's got some actual WNBA experience.
The moment Sophie Cunningham went down, the ripple effect was immediate. For Caitlin Clark, it wasn't just the loss of a teammate. It was the loss of her protector, her enforcer, the one player who refused to let cheap shots go unanswered. Without Sophie on the court, Clark is suddenly more vulnerable than ever. And if history tells us anything, it's that opposing teams will take full advantage of that.
There's some folks pissed off at the Indiana Fever. And the reason they're pissed off, number one, you got nonsensical moves like this. This woman is 5'7", 36 years old, for crying out loud. Did not play in 2024 at all. 5 points a game with the LA Sparks in 6 games this season. The problem is Sophie is 6'1". She's also 29 years old.
The Fever's front office and coaching staff now face a disaster of their own making. Instead of finding athletic young talent to step into the void, what did they do? They signed 36-year-old undersized guards on hardship contracts.
Because a lot of fans are like, what in the hell are you guys doing? And I understand it. The WNBA surpassed its total regular season attendance record Friday, another showcase of the league's continued growth in 2025.
Players who can't possibly replicate Sophie's presence or intensity. Fans are furious, and rightfully so.
The Indiana Fever just say knee injury, won't say anything more. And Alexa Philippou can confirm Sophie Cunningham suffered an MCL tear, a silver lining being that she should be fully recovered by the start of next season. And
Indiana already entered the season as one of the smallest rosters in the league. Losing a 6'1" forward like Sophie only magnifies that problem. Yet management keeps going smaller and slower.
It just depends on if it was a full rupture. If it was a full tear without any damage to her ACLs or PCLs or any other ligament or LCL, she could be back. I reckon she'll be back to some basketball activities by Christmas at the latest. That would be my and that's being conservative a lot of the time. Like, there are times where you can come back after, like, if it's a grade 1 sprain, you're back.
This isn't just a Sophie issue. In less than a month, the Fever have lost Sophie Cunningham, Aari McDonald, and Sydney Colson, all to season-ending injuries. That's 3 guards gone in a 20-day stretch. Add Caitlin Clark's own injuries earlier in the season, and it feels like the Fever are cursed.
Sophie Cunningham, unfortunately, is out for the rest of the 2025 WNBA season, thanks to the little stunt Bria Hartley pulled. Sophie Cunningham has a tear in her MCL on her right knee, thanks to the little stunt Bria Hartley pulled. Bria Hartley deserves zero benefit of the doubt. As I said in a previous video, her reputation precedes her.
Every time the roster starts to build momentum, another key piece is ripped away. But no loss is bigger for Clark than Sophie's. Sophie was the only one consistently willing to take the hits and dish them back. She was the enforcer who made sure Caitlin wasn't standing alone when things got physical.
Sophie Cunningham suffered a MCL tear in her right damn knee. League source confirms her injury is affected the Fever decision to release Kyra Lambert and sign Shea Petty, a 6-year league veteran. This move didn't have anything to do with CC's status. It don't look like Caitlin Clark is, making a move to come back.
Now Clark is left carrying the load, absorbing more punishment with fewer teammates able to push back. Fans know it too. They've been vocal about how poorly Caitlin has been protected, not just by the league, but by her own organization.
Who is Shea Petty? She's a 36-year-old 5'7" point guard. Yes, she is a 36-year-old 5'7" point guard. Why? What is the point?
Instead of investing in size and toughness around their superstar, Indiana has left her surrounded by patchwork lineups, constant injuries, and questionable coaching decisions.
Man, let me know what y'all think about this Sophie Cunningham update. Shout out to Shea Petty. I don't know you, man. 36 years old, 5'7". We're addicted to midget point guard for some reason. I don't know why. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's 5'5" and under. It's just like, yo, dog, what are y'all trying to do? Run between basketball players' legs or something? I don't even get what's happening anymore, man.
When Sophie went down, it felt like the last line of defense for Caitlin Clark collapsed. The truth is clear. Without Sophie Cunningham, the Fever not only lose a versatile scorer and defender, they lose the one player who had Caitlin Clark's back. And that changes everything for this team moving forward.
Stephanie White didn't call out the officiating. We can't act like Aaliyah Boston. Like, these players, everybody's been speaking up about it. right? Everybody has been speaking up about the officiating. It's really on the league to protect these players. At the end of the day, all Stephanie White can do is just fix the rotation and fix plays and things of that nature. But protecting them, I don't know how you necessarily do that.
Sophie Cunningham's injury isn't just about one player going down. It's a symptom of something far worse. A league that refuses to protect its biggest stars. And no one has been left more exposed than Caitlin Clark. From the moment Clark stepped onto a WNBA floor, she's been the target of excessive physicality.
Stephanie White said that the hope is that she'll be back before the end of the season. But still, as many fans as she has, as many fans as the Fever have, I think a little bit of clarity on the potential of when she could be back, the odds, the chances, the time frame, any of that would be welcome. I mean, seeing her in practice, I guess, would be the answer. And we haven't seen the Fever return to practice yet. I believe they had the day off.
She's been shoved, hacked, tripped, and blindsided. And every time referees swallow their whistles, the same players who can't guard her skill for skill resort to cheap shots, and the league allows it to happen.
But I'm telling you right here, right now, if Caitlin Clark does not return, this team will not make the playoffs. With this remaining schedule, this team 1000% will not make the playoffs. It is as simple as that. There's no two ways around it. And if you think bringing in Shea Petty is going to be a major difference, I hate to tell you, it's not. It just is what it is.
Fans are no longer calling it basketball. They're calling it rugby ball because that's what it looks like. A free-for-all where the brightest young star in the game is under constant attack. The transcripts make it clear.
Is your team so incompetent that you can't find a shooting forward or guard that matches Sophie's height? What is this? The team with the shortest guard in the nation. Just tank already, as you can't field a team protect your players from getting targeted by dirty players.
This didn't have to happen. The Connecticut Sun, the same team that knocked Caitlin down earlier in the season, are the ones who took Sophie out. The same dirty tactics, the same reckless dives at players' knees, and the same lack of accountability from league officials.
From the Indiana Fever pipeline moments ago that Sophie Cunningham will miss the remainder of the season, and I am hella mad about this. Sophie Cunningham will miss the remainder of the season after suffering an injury during our game at Connecticut on Sunday. In corresponding move, we have signed guard Shea Petty to a 7-day hardship contract.
Bria Hartley's reputation was already known, yet she was allowed to keep playing that way until Sophie became her latest victim. And what has the commissioner done? Nothing. Kathy Engelbert has spoken up about league expansion, about ticket sales, about off-court controversies.
Now he signed Shea Petty. Who is Shea Petty? Shea Petty, no disrespect to you, man. I just hope you come in and contribute. But I said that back. Shea Petty was born in 1988. She is 36 years old. For her career, she's averaged 5.9 points, 2.3 assists, 2.4 rebounds. She is a career 40% field goal percent shooter. She is a career 31% from three.
But when it comes to star players getting targeted, silence. No suspensions, no protection, no action. The result is devastating.
Sophie Cunningham will miss the remainder of the season after suffering an injury during our game at Connecticut on Sunday. In a corresponding move, we have signed guard Shea Petty to a 7-day hardship contract and released Kyra Lambert.
In just weeks, the Fever lost Sophie Cunningham, Ari McDonald, and Sydney Colson, not just to freak accidents, but to a climate where reckless play has been normalized. And every time it happens, Caitlin Clark is left more isolated, carrying her team without the protection or support that a rising superstar deserves.
And I'm starting to think that there definitely should be a WNBA lockout. And while that lockout is going on, somehow, some way, Kathy Engelbert needs to be removed. It needs to be replaced with a new commissioner. The referees need to get on the same page. Listen, this is basketball. Y'all better call these fucking fouls that y'all see.
This is bigger than Indiana. It's bigger than one season. When fans tune in and see their favorite players injured, carried off the floor, or punished for simply being great, it sends a clear message. The league doesn't value its stars. And if Caitlin Clark, the single most important player to the WNBA's growth,
Shit, depressing news. Even though it's always possible and probable that Sophie's season was over, Sophie is 6'1". Why sign shorter point guards? Why are we signing point guards, period, if Caitlin's coming back? What are we doing?
It's absolutely been a season from hell.
Can't be protected. What hope is there for anyone else? Sophie's season-ending injury is more than a painful blow to the Fever. It's a warning sign, a reminder that until this league changes, until stars like Caitlin are defended instead of targeted, we'll keep watching careers get shortened and fans get driven away.
If Caitlin Clark can lace up her shoes and be at 100%, the Fever have a chance against anybody.
Sophie Cunningham hurt. This has been a disaster of a fucking season.
Will the GOAT return? Listen, the season is riding on this. Does Caitlin Clark return or not? Does Caitlin come back?
Sophie Cunningham's season is over, and the pain cuts deep. For Caitlin Clark, it means losing her fiercest protector, the one teammate who always stood up when things got ugly. For the Fever, it's another devastating blow in a season already filled with chaos.
Watch the actual injury, though. No Sophie. It'd be a miracle for Caitlin to return. Good luck rest of the year. Shit, depressing news. Even though it's always possible and probable that Sophie's season was over, you always held out hope. Yeah, I had some hope, actually.
And for the WNBA, it's yet another failure to protect the very stars driving its growth. Sophie will be back. But the question is, how much more can Caitlin Clark endure before the league finally steps up and protects its brightest star?